Hello, Connie, owner of Wellness for Life Coaching. Today, I'm continuing to talk about the Book of Joy, and I want to talk about the third obstacle to joy, which is sadness and grief. And we've all gone through something, we've all lost something major. And the book asks the Dalai Lama, how did you deal with all the loss when you were in exile and all of the things that you've gone through? And he said he thought about it. One of the biggest losses in his life was when he lost a teacher, someone that he was very close to, that really helped him learn all of the ways of the Buddhas. And he was just devastated when this person died. And he said what helped him turn around was thinking about what this teacher would want for him. What would he want him to continue to do? And the more he thought about it, he thought, I really want to fulfill his wishes. And so he really said, what would he want me to do? And what teachings would he want me to carry on? And a lot of times, the way through sadness and grief comes from a great loss it helps us motivate, and it generates a deeper sense of purpose. It's like a lot of parents who lost their children, like we did, lost their child to a drunk driver. They started Mothers Against Drunk Driving, or Compassion Friends, or a lot of other groups that they've started or donated money to. If someone died from cancer, they'll donate or to the cancer fund, or become a hospice volunteer, or all different kinds of way of carrying on the legacy. And the person who has passed would really want us to be happy. And so we really look at trying to fulfill their wishes. And the Dalai Lama says, if the one you have lost could see you, and you are determined and full of hope, that would make them very happy. And with great sadness of the loss, one can live an even more meaningful life. And again, I've talked before about stimulus and response. What happens to us, sometimes we can't control that, but we can only control how we respond to it. And sometimes we have to work really hard at it. And when you lose someone, or lose a job, or go through a divorce, all kinds of different losses, we go through different stages. And there are 7 stages to grief. And I wanted to briefly talk about each one. The first one is denial or shock. This can't happen. No way. It must be a lie. I just can't believe it. The second one is pain and guilt. Could I have done something different? Oh, if I only would have spent more time with them, if I wouldn't have left mad, whatever the situation is, we're all very good at blaming ourselves, but that doesn't bring us recovery, and it certainly wouldn't make the person that's died happy. The third one is bargaining and anger. We get mad at God or our higher power or the universe, and we bargain and say, oh, if they only live, if they only get better, I'll do this and this. And so we try to bargain with whatever our higher power is. The fourth one is depression. And we don't go through these in a nice, neat order. We go back and forth depending on the situation or whatever. But the depression is, we don't ever move on, we move through. And I always compare it to a tunnel, and you can see light on this end when you went in, and you can see light on the other end. But man, when you're in the middle, that's the depressive state. And that's the really hard, ugly time that everyone has to go through. You have to honor that. You have to respect that. It's painful, it's awful, but everyone goes through it. And then the fifth stage is called the upward turn. It's when you can start to spend a couple of hours without sobbing your heart out, and you maybe don't think about them quite as much, and then of course you feel guilty. But a day passes into another day, and into a week, and into a month, and you actually think, oh, maybe I'm going to live through this. And then the sixth stage is called reconstruction and working through it. And this is when you can talk to a counselor or a therapist or a family member or someone that's gone through this themselves. And that's a really helpful stage, because you can talk about the memories, you can talk about the good times and the bad times. But the one thing is, if it's loss of a loved one, one of the biggest things I hear people say is, I don't want them to ever forget them, of who they were. And that's why we do gravestones, whether they're buried there or not, or we do memorials, or we do an honor of, we plant a tree, we do a park bench, whatever it is, so that people don't forget them, and they always remember them. And then the seventh stage is acceptance and hope. And that's one that we hope to get through. It doesn't happen very quickly, and it doesn't happen in the same stage for everybody. So it's just kind of a tough thing that we have to go through. And no one should say, oh, you should be through this by now. And they say that lovingly because we think, well, they want us to move on. They want us to be happy. Of course, we all want to be happy, but we have to work through it in our own way. And so again, what the Dalai Lama says, if we're really sad and we really feel a lot of pain, what we should really do is think about the person, remember them, think about what they would want, and to try and be grateful for what we do have. And again, that's hard when we're in all those ugly stages, but it does help. Again, I'm a big believer of writing a couple of things down that you're grateful for. If we've lost a job, if we can be thankful that we're not living in our car, we weren't evicted, if we weren't, and try and look at some of the positive things. If we've lost a loved one, if they were suffering, we can be thankful that they are no longer suffering. Whatever it is, that we can really try to get through and have some hope. The biggest thing is that we have hope, that we have something to look forward to again, like if we have grandchildren or if we have other family members, and if we can plan things and look forward to some things, then there's always hope. So that's the third obstacle to joy. It's sadness and grief. It's a tough one, but I promise that you can get through it. You won't move on, but you can go through it. And it just takes some time, and do it at your own time. Be kind to yourself. Do all of the things that Brooke always says, get enough sleep, drink enough water, eat right, get some exercise, and do something that takes really good care of yourself. So next week, we'll talk about another obstacle, but we will get to the pillars of joy soon. Okay, take care. Bye.